Why management needs critical thinking workshops. Hi, I want to talk about something I've seen completely transform the way managers lead their teams: critical thinking workshops. Many engineering managers struggle not because they lack technical knowledge, but because they haven't been trained to think like leaders. They get stuck in short-term execution, ineffective communication, and individual competition rather than fostering team collaboration. I've seen managers shift from overwhelmed and reactive to strategic and empowered simply by expanding their thinking patterns. Critical thinking workshops help them improve collaboration, master communication, and adopt a long-term mindset. Here's why investing in these workshops makes a massive difference. 1. Encouraging collaboration over competition. I see this problem in almost every engineering team. Managers unknowingly create a competitive culture rather than a collaborative one. They promote individual performance over teamwork, leading to siloed knowledge, lack of trust, and an every engineer for themselves mentality. In a critical thinking workshop, managers learn to break this cycle. They realize that competition may push short-term output, but it ultimately slows progress because engineers stop sharing knowledge, mentoring others, and helping the team as a whole grow. Workshop outcome. Managers shift their focus from individual heroics to team success. They create mentorship opportunities, encourage pair programming, and facilitate problem solving as a team rather than in isolation. They start recognizing and rewarding collaboration just as much as technical achievements. When managers prioritize collaboration, teams become more innovative, move faster, and work with greater trust. Improving communication skills and leadership. I have seen it so many times. Brilliant engineering managers who struggle not because they lack expertise, but because they can't communicate effectively. Some over-explain and overwhelm their teams, while others stay too quiet, assuming engineers will just figure it out. The result? Misalignment, frustration, and wasted effort. In critical thinking workshops, managers practice structured communication exercises. They learn how to convey ideas clearly without overcomplicating, adjust their communication style for different team members, encourage open discussions instead of shutting down ideas. Workshop outcome: managers become more confident in explaining complex ideas in ways that their teams actually understand. They stop micromanaging through excessive explanations and start guiding through clear, concise direction. They encourage healthy debates rather than making discussions feel one-sided or intimidating. When communication improves, meetings become more productive, expectations are clear, and teams move forward without unnecessary confusion. Developing strategic thinking and long-term planning. I've often seen managers who are stuck in firefighting mode, constantly reacting to problems instead of planning ahead. They're so focused on today's deadlines that they fail to think about team growth, skill development, or long-term product strategy. A critical thinking workshop helps managers step back and take a broader view. Instead of only solving immediate issues, they learn to ask bigger questions like, where's this team heading in the next year? What skills will my engineers need for future challenges? How can I prepare my team for leadership roles? Workshop outcome: managers start mentoring their engineers rather than just managing tasks. They advocate for training programs, career development discussions, and technical learning opportunities. They balance short-term project execution with long-term strategic planning. When managers think long-term, engineers feel more invested in their roles, see a future in the company, and stay engaged rather than burning out. The real impact of critical thinking in leadership. I've seen firsthand how critical thinking workshops shift managers from reactive to proactive, from overwhelmed to strategic. The best leaders aren't just great at execution. They build high-performing teams that thrive in collaboration, communication, and long-term success. So the real question is, are we giving managers the tools to lead effectively, or are we expecting them to figure it out alone? Let's continue the conversation on how critical thinking workshops transform engineering management. I've seen managers go from burnt out and reactive to strategic and empowered simply by shifting the way they approach collaboration, communication, and long-term planning. But there's more to it. True leadership requires inclusivity, recognizing strengths, and valuing contributions. Let's dive into 3 more ways. Critical thinking workshops help managers become more effective leaders. 4. Creating an inclusive and innovative workplace culture. I've often seen engineering managers stay within their technical bubble, focusing only on immediate engineering tasks while ignoring the broader dynamics of their company. This can make engineers feel like isolated problem solvers instead of strategic contributors to the business. When teams aren't encouraged to interact with other departments, like design, product, and business strategy, collaboration suffers and innovation slows down. In critical thinking workshops, managers learn to see the value of diverse perspectives, not just in terms of engineering, but in how different roles contribute to problem solving. They practice engaging with different thought processes, learning to appreciate creative solutions rather than shutting them down. They also recognize how a more inclusive team leads to stronger ideas and more engaged engineers. Workshop outcome. Managers start encouraging cross-functional collaboration rather than keeping engineers locked into technical silos. They bring engineers into strategic discussions, showing them how their work connects to company goals. They create a culture where diverse thought processes are seen as assets rather than obstacles. When managers learn to think beyond just engineering execution, they create a work environment where engineers feel valued, engaged, and excited to contribute. Hana 5. Appreciating strengths instead of criticizing weaknesses. I've seen many managers fall into the trap of focusing on fixing weaknesses rather than amplifying strengths. They spend too much time trying to correct engineers rather than helping them grow into what they do best. The problem? This approach drains morale and kills motivation. Critical thinking workshops help managers shift their mindset. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with this engineer?" they start asking, "What are they naturally great at, and how can I build on that?" Workshop outcome. Managers learn to identify and nurture individual strengths, rather than forcing engineers into areas where they struggle. They delegate work based on talent, rather than just workload. They create more confident, engaged teams where engineers feel valued for what they do best. I've seen this shift completely transform teams. When managers focus on leveraging strengths rather than fixing perceived flaws, engineers become more productive, more innovative, and more motivated to take on new challenges. 6. Making engineers feel valued and recognized. One of the biggest complaints I hear from engineers is that they don't feel recognized beyond their technical contributions. They're often treated as coders rather than strategic thinkers. When engineers don't feel valued, motivation drops and they disengage. I've also seen the opposite. Teams where managers actively recognize engineering contributions, involve them in higher-level discussions, and give them leadership opportunities. In these environments, engineers stay longer, contribute more, and feel invested in the company's success. In critical thinking workshops, managers learn how to properly recognize contributions and make engineers feel seen beyond their coding skills. They practice leadership exercises that emphasize giving engineers more visibility, ensuring their voices are heard in meetings, and highlighting their impact. Workshop outcome. Managers start celebrating engineering wins in company-wide discussions. They bring engineers into business and product strategy meetings, showing them how valuable their insights are. They assign engineers leadership roles, allowing them to grow beyond technical execution. I've seen managers transform their teams simply by valuing and recognizing their engineers more. When engineers feel appreciated, they engage more, innovate more, and stay longer. The true impact of critical thinking in leadership. I've seen firsthand how critical thinking workshops change the way managers lead. The best managers aren't just focused on output. They create workplaces where engineers thrive. When managers apply collaboration, communication, long-term vision, inclusivity, strength-based leadership, and recognition, teams become more motivated, more productive, and more invested in their work. So the real question is, are we giving managers the tools to lead effectively, Or are we expecting them to figure it out on their own?